Hello, everyone, and welcome to the masterclass. I am recording this on December 6th, 2022. No one attended the live event, so you're all getting to hear the recording. So let us begin. What is processing speed and why does it really matter when it comes to handwriting? So what is processing speed? Processing speed refers to the speed at which information is processed for learning. In this particular case, it is how much our visual field is processing information. It is measured by speed and accuracy. It is also a predictor of how we are going to be able to make decisions. And really the key factors are we identify, we manipulate the material, and then we respond to it. If you want to get a little bit deeper into that, it's identify, discriminate, integrate, make a decision, and respond. So basically that whole philosophy of when a stimulus occurs to how you respond to it. There are three components to processing speed: coding, symbol search, and cancellation. And I'm getting this information off of material about IQ testing. So when they are testing this and they come up with a number for processing speed, these are the tests that they're looking at. So with coding, we're going to draw symbols. And this is a lot of where the graphomotor comes in. So they're drawing symbols. It's really reflective and they're looking at testing the short-term memory, visual motor integration, cognitive flexibility, sequential processing, and fluid intelligence. So I'm going to give you a row of numbers. What were they? Could you write them? Even though I only gave you like 2 seconds to see them. Okay, so but watching the recording, you're going to stop and you're going to go back. That's okay. But graphomotor problems really are looking at all of those components that we use for written expression. Letter formation, number formation, the application of symbols in writing, whether it's math or punctuation, etc. One of the telltale signs of a problem is that the handwriting is slow. Word spacing, letter spacing aren't really accurate. You might mix your cases and time is too fast or too slow. How about this one? Can you tell me how many dots there are on the page? The answer is 73. With coding, were you able to take it and put the circles and blocks of 9 when you first looked at it? Were you able to identify an X and looking at some of those pre-knowledge that you have and compare it to what you're looking at now? The second area is symbol search. With symbol search, we're going to have a rapid differentiation of abstract symbols. This is very similar to a lot of what OT assessments look like, where we have an image and then we have 4 other choices and we have to pick the right one. We are searching for the right symbol. So my snowman is the second one in, right? Good job. Visual discrimination. Okay, back up a second. What they are looking for is visual discrimination, visual motor integration, sustained attention, organization and planning, fluid intelligence, and then taking that and applying that to their ability to learn. The third component, cancellation, is when we're looking at images rather than symbols, and we're able to manipulate them, selectively create the right one. We're looking at, could there be some visual neglect around? Are we inhibiting other things? So we're really looking at visual motor speed, visual scanning, visual discrimination with cancellation. So they take the totals of those scores and they come up with a thing called the processing speed index. And that tells us how fast a student will work compared to their peers, how quickly and efficiently the student works on tasks that involve decision making. And what I'd like to know, if you just want to pause this before we move on, pause and think, what might be some factors that might impact processing speed with your students? Also, processing speed is really dependent on ocular motor speed and scanning. So with ADHD and processing speed, we're really looking at attention to detail and attentiveness, finishing quickly, or are they careless and then making mistakes? Are they impulsive? All of those pieces that we think of when we're looking at ADHD with processing speed, a lot of those fall into the executive function realm. They also are looking at reading fluency, writing fluency, and math fluency. How automatic is it? Are they labored? Is it slow? Or is it automatic? Is it fluid? Are things moving along the way the peers are? So what is the impact of learning? First thing, when we're looking at it, we need to activate learning. We need to activate the processing speed. So where is their attention? Are they off thinking about Minecraft or Fortnite or some other video game? Are they thinking about what happened at home? Are they able to focus? Are they confused? Are they looking at whatever it is that you have on the screen and they're going, oh, no, I just don't get it. It's like a deer in headlights. Or do they even understand the directions that you just gave them, or are they totally lost in the shuffle? Emotional regulation is a real key factor in us understanding what happens with the impact on learning with processing speed. And you really need to just encourage and support and help them get started and see how the emotions change after they have gotten that activation mode going. Cognitive. Is there a cognitive component involved? Do we need to help develop a plan to help break down the task? Do we need to use graphic organizers, chunk that information? Or is it something different that's the cognition has a barrier to writing, to learning? What about focus and attention? Where are the distractions? What is that they're hearing going around the room? That was a fly. Simple fly getting distraction. Or is it the fan up in the rafters? Is it the heater just went on? Is it the hum of the light in the fluorescent lighting? What is distracting them? We often talk about on-task and off-task behavior. What is that antecedent that's triggering that behavior? And they always say that you can always provide incentives to complete work. Come on. There we go. With working memory, that's mainly auditory. And next month, we're going to go over working memory in a little bit more depth. But do we need to repeat those directions? Do we need to give those gentle reminders? Hey, Susie, keep going. Or do we need to have the directions copied in shorter form? Do we need to spread them out, have more white space between the directions? What is it that we need to do to help compensate for their working memory? With written, can we get a copy of the teacher's notes ahead of time? What about access to word processing or spell check or grammar checkers, Grammarly, one of the other programs? Do they need a program that like Asana or Trello that put their notes into little cards so that they can organize themselves? So at this point in time, if people would have come to the event live tonight, we would have had a discussion. So can you name some activities or some accommodations that you can think about that are going to help support coding? How about symbols? How about cancellation? Pause here, take some time and think about that, and then we're going to go over some of those. So with accommodations, first thing we want to do is we want to chunk material, put it in small bits and pieces. Another accommodation is giving them extra time or eliminate the problem. So what I mean by that is take all the stuff away and give them something simple that represents like the math problem. Instead of having all the words present, do they understand what it looks like if they happen to see the equation in front of them without the words for the word problem? Do they even have a clue how to solve that problem? So we're eliminating one piece of the equation. Now we can add it back in and see if they can create a scenario that might reflect what that equation means, and then go back to the word problem and say, okay, so where does this number fit into the word problem? And why did we use the symbol, the minus sign, instead of the plus sign or the multiplication sign in this scenario? What are the words that help us? So kind of like taking it in reverse to help them understand what the problem looks like. Don't time. So what I mean with that is math facts tests, don't time them, that they realize you're timing them. So give them that paper and don't let them realize that you're timing them. You just kind of keep an eye on the time yourself. Simplify the task. True, false, multiple choice, fill in the blank, short answer. And progress monitor their time at home and at school to complete assignments. See if there's a disconnect between at home and at school. Now, a lot of these things with processing speed or a lot of the specially designed instruction that we create for students who have struggles with writing, my concern with all of these accommodations is if we keep things too simple, what happens when they are out of school? What happens in the long run? So what are some ways that we can not only give them this time where they don't realize they're being timed or they're simplifying the task now, but how do we make it more complex, but yet help them to understand the concepts and the procedures to get through the tasks that they have? That's always the challenge. And then one more section of accommodations is having the teacher provide notes, helping them create the categories. So I'm not quite sure what happened to it. My bells have left. I had a whole line of bells up earlier today, and it was, okay, how do we categorize these? Do we categorize them by red bows or green bows or pine needles, or one bell or two bell. What are some of the ways? And have them help create the categories and worry less about the actual problem. Sometimes they just need to understand the concepts before they can understand the procedures. And then voice to text apps of many kinds can help. The references, if you go to tinyurl/processing speed, there is a zip file that you can download for the journal articles that I pulled from. To get your certificate, you are going to need to look at the chalkboard, and you're going to need to write down the letters and the numbers that you see. You'll see the girl has a list of letters on the left on the chalkboard, and the little boy in the center, he doesn't have anything. The little boy on the right has a number on the right. You'll need to write down those numbers and then send that to me so that you can get your certificate of completion once you have completed and watched this video. And it looks like you'll get 30 minutes of continuing ed, since we didn't have any discussion and I blew right through this. But if you really take the time to stop, process some of the things that I've shared with you, you should take 45 minutes to an hour to get through this video. I want to say thank you for the time of watching this evening, and I hope to see you next month, and when we talk about word working memory. Thank you.